Going live with the Sell a House Wholesale Real Estate Training number 85 on Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't even know what day it is. Wednesday. Well, yesterday was so hectic. Wednesday, February 25th, 2015, with the Property Noodlers at Gmail. Opportunity for you to jump into wholesaling in the 21st century, the newfangled, wangle dangle, get out there and make things happen and not just sit around and wait for things to come to you. System and program of the 21st century. Anyway, that's who we are. That's what we're here for. This is our wholesale real estate training, and today, let's see, where did we leave off on Wednesday or on New Op Day?
On New Op Day. Good
Oh,
morning.
that's right. We're building the business plan, and we're down to the 1 year from 3 year. Okay, I do remember that now. Like I said, yesterday was such a hectic day. I mean, we had a deal that was supposed to be closing. Everything's all lined up, no problem, blah, blah, blah. And the next thing you know, and this is what you got to do as a wholesaler, you got to be ready to think on your feet. You got to be ready to take action, make things happen, because you know what? If we were just guys that sit around and wait for people to pick up the phone and call us because we sent out a mailing piece, yesterday when this little snafu occurred, we would have been like, well, okay, title, what do we do? And no, we got on the phones and we made some phone calls and we talked to some people and, we basically shifted this boat in the middle of this course in another direction and made this happen, and this deal is going to close. And fortunately, it's a good thing because we are helping this woman, older woman, to gain what she has left out of this property as her retirement, and had this deal not closed, that would have all gone away. So we saved our deal, we saved our payday, and we saved this lady's future. So that's what you do, and that's what we're all about, is helping people. That's what Property Noodlers do. We help people. So John, why don't you join in here and cut me off and talk about a little bit.
Yeah, well, happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the Hangout. For those of you who've been on the last couple, we've been putting together a vision plan and setting goals. And I'm going to get right back into that, but I just want to talk about what Paul just brought up there about being able to correct and continue and constantly moving forward. And we talked about this in the last Hangout as well when we talked about goal settings. What happens if I write down a goal and I don't accomplish it? Well, maybe something in your plan didn't work out, so you need to correct and continue your plan. Well, this deal is kind of like that. We had a closing set for yesterday. It was a foreclosure type situation. Things happened with title, and there was an issue with the lender and an issue with the person that we were assigning the property to, and things almost didn't close. And if it didn't close yesterday, the property would have been lost. Me and Paul would have missed out on our payday. But honestly, more important than Paul and I missing out on the payday is that this older lady who is relying on the two of us to make things happen, because this is her last piece of property here that provide her with something that she can use to comfortably retire. Had this not gone through yesterday, more so than Paul and I losing a paycheck, it would have really damaged somebody's life. And as Paul said, we're action takers. We're not, the Noodler team are action takers. We're not guys to sit on the sidelines and wait for things to come to us or wait for things to happen. We're out there making things happen. We're out there helping people. And that's because when curveballs get thrown our direction, we know how to bat. We know how to correct and continue and make things happen. And what makes me feel great about this deal that we're making reference to, and we'll get into the specifics of this on a future Hangout because there's a lot of important lessons here, is that at the end of the day, we helped somebody. And you get out what you put in. And being an entrepreneur is about solving problems for a profit. So if you can figure out ways to be active and go out there and go above and beyond and make things happen for people and provide value, you are going to be successful and you are going to be wealthy and you are going to have financial freedom. But the step one, it starts with you, and it starts with your willingness to help other people, and it starts with a why, and it starts with putting together a business plan and a vision plan for your future. So that's what we've been talking about the last couple days, and now that's what I think we should jump right back into, wouldn't you say, Paul?
Yes, exactly. So so far we've covered the getting started part here, which what we're doing here is we are creating our life 3 to 5 years ahead, and where we see ourselves 3 to 5 years ahead from now, and we're going to reverse engineer this back to what will I be doing tomorrow, actually, what will I be doing today to work my way towards that. So it's easy to sit there and go, hey, I want to have all this stuff, and what am I going to do right now to get there, and think about that. But you know what? First of all, if you don't have it written down, it's going to be impossible. You get scattered, you get lost, things come in, you forget about it, you forgot about this, you forgot about that, you didn't have time, blah, blah, blah. So by having this written out from A to Z is the only way to get there. And the only way to really structure this is really to work backwards, because you can sit there and say, well, if I do this tomorrow and I do this tomorrow and I do this tomorrow, and you're building this plan like this with your head down, by the time you look up, you might have been shooting for the target over there and you're heading for the target over here. You missed the boat completely. So you got to define where it is you want to end up and then work your way backwards, and that's what we're doing. So we talked about the 3 to 5 year plan. Take your life, project it forward. We talked about looking back in the same distance you want to go forward, 3 to 5 years, see where you were then, everything that's transpired in your life between then and now, what kind of improvements you made, what's happened, blah, blah, blah. Maybe see a little bit of eye-opening stuff there where you go, wow, really nothing at all has happened hardly. And so, I really want to make a big difference here going forward. So, yeah, 3 to 5 years from now, I don't want to be just that much farther ahead than I was 3 to 5 years ago. I want to be that much farther ahead. So get out there, put your imagination on and your vision on, and go 3 to 5 years ahead and say, okay, here I am. I'm Paul Romero, 3 to 5 years from now, and I have this, and I'm doing this, and I am this type of person, and write your thing out that way in the first person, as if you're standing there 3 to 5 years from now. I am here, I am doing this, this is what I have, this is who I am, etc., and so on. Very important you do this all the ways in the first person. So then we talked about once you have that in place, then taking that and looking at the individual pieces of it, because now you have to break this down. So now you have the big plan, and you say, okay, well, I have this piece here, which is about my business, and I have this piece here, which is about my family life, and I have this piece here, which is about my spiritual life, and then whatever, and break this out into however many, 4, 5, 6 segments. That's the next step, is to break that out into segments. So now you can take each segment and go, okay, well, a year from now, within each one of these segments, or if you went 5, go back 3 years, and then if you went 3, go back 1 year. So wherever you are on the work your way down, we're supposed to be at 1 year today. Hopefully that's where you're at. But you break it down, and then you go, okay, for this next level, what kind of things do I have to be, where do I have to be at this level in order to see myself, okay, that's like halfway or whatever it is. I'm here now. This is what I'm talking about. This is where I want to be. Where do I have to be right here within these different breakouts in order that I can really see myself getting there? Because this whole thing has to be believable, and that's what we talked about, the SMART system. So sorry for running this on. I'm trying to make it fast, but there's just so much to say. So anyway, John, that's where I'm talking about. That's where we're at. We did the 5-year plan. If you did a 5, hopefully you did a 3 already, and then you've already broke it down to a 1, and we're talking about the 1 year right now. Is that correct, or did we even go past?
Absolutely 100% correct. And as Paul said, it starts with a vision and a why. And I just want to point out my picture here today that I used right there, those two. There's my why. There's my reason for wanting to have financial freedom. There's my reason for wanting extra money and wanting my time back, quite frankly. And there's my reason why I don't want to be working for anybody else but myself, and work when I want, how I want, and why I want to work. And that is what this whole success vision thing is all about, is putting together a plan for your life and then using this same concept to build a plan for your business. So Paul basically got us kicked off, so I don't really need to go back and reiterate anything he just said. Starts with a vision, a 3 to 5 year plan. I've shared mine now in the last 2 Hangouts, and we're going to move right into the 1 year vision plan. So let me get out my notes on that. Okay. The 1 year vision plan. So now that you've broken down you've made a description of where you want to be in 3 to 5 years, we're going to start reverse engineering it backwards to build a plan to get to where you want to be in that 3 to 5 year vision that you have for yourself. So that starts with, okay, if I'm going to get to point B, what do I got to do to get to point A? Because A comes before B. So where do I got to be after 1 year in order to get to that 3 year? So I'm going to go ahead and share my 1 year vision, which is going to lead me to my 3 to 5 year vision. And basically, I'm going to just read this, and then we can break it down from there. I have $5,000 per month in passive income, and I am earning $10,000 per month from my real estate investment business. I am financially free with nothing but positive energy, and I am driving a full-size, brand-new 4-door truck, SUV, or pickup. Like I said, there's some specifics, but there's some generalities here too, because I don't know if I want a pickup or an SUV, but I know I want a brand-new truck by this time next year. I'm eating healthy on a daily basis. I'm able to control my cravings for food and only eat junk food in moderation as a treat for accomplishing a goal. I am working out and exercising daily, and I have a personal trainer. I have met and created relationships with 2 ideal girlfriends, and I'm having sex 3 days a week. I am patient, loving, understanding, and strong, and have a great relationship with my children, and I have an excellent rapport with my ex-wife. I feel good because I am able to stick to my vision plan for this year. I am confident, and I am meeting with qualified prospects on a daily basis. I have raised $500,000 in order to do rehab projects, and I have helped multiply my real estate investment team to enter into at least 1 new market, and I have launched Achieve Inc. with Paul Romero, and our first educational product is available for sale. So in order to get to my 3-year vision, which is a lot grander than this is where I'll need to be in 1 year. So I've gotten a little bit more specific in this plan with a couple generalities, which will be defined when we move to the next step. But you've got to have your 3-year vision, and then you've got to break down your 1-year vision of where I need to be in 1 year in order to get to the ultimate, definite, major purpose. And why I brought up my children as being part of my why is you got to have a large why that's outside of yourself. Like, what is your reason for all of this? You take 15, 20 minutes and pull out a piece of paper in addition to putting together this success plan and define your why. So after you have your 1 year action step, a 1 year vision plan in place, now it's time to get specific, and now we need to build an action plan to get there. And that starts with a 90-day profit and action plan. What are you going to do over the next 90 days? What do you see yourself accomplishing over the next 90 days that are going to put you on a path to achieve your 1 year vision? And before I break down and share with you what my 90-day plan is, I'm going to toss it back to Paul just to go ahead and clarify a little bit of what I went for in putting together my 1 year plan.
Yeah, I like what you did there, because I was just drawing out a quick little thing here because I wanted to show sort of what just that happened right there. Basically, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this very well, but he had his 3-year big vision, and he broke it down into family, finances, What do I have there? Oh, physical health. I don't even know what I wrote. Oh, some desires, his pickup truck, and some spiritual things. So within his 1 year plan, that whole 3 year plan broke down into there's probably a couple of more different areas there, but it broke down into certain little categories, and he had each one of these categories was defined a little bit more clearly than the 3 year plan because it's a smaller goal, first of all, and which obviously makes it easier for you to see as a believable goal because it's small. You already made this big plan that you see as 100% believable. So now you see this next step back and these smaller goals that are obviously believable because these are just ways to get to what you already believe is at the end. And so you took all those little segments, and each one of those kind of came out of that ultimate first goal that you had talked about, and kind of scrunched them down a little bit, made them smaller, more bite-sized chunks. And so now at the 1 year mark, I believe you said from the 1 year mark here, aren't we moving on to the 90-day? Is that correct?
Yes. 90 days will be the next step, is your 90-day action plan. Really, this is where you're going to break down what you've got to basically do and where you want to be in 90 days, because we want to break it down to smaller segments, because we're going to keep breaking this down, and believe it or not, from the 90-day, it's going to be broken down into a daily plan of attack. But we have to break it down now from, okay, this is where I need to be in 1 year to get to the 3 year, as Paul was just showing in his description. But here's where I need to be in 90 days. Because in 90 days, we're going to reevaluate if we got there, and if in this 90-day period, what you've envisioned for yourself is actually the right road to be on to get to the 1 year point. And that's why we want to do this in a 90-day manner. So I'll go ahead now and I'll just share real quick with my 90-day vision, and then I'll toss it back to Paul to break it down. And again, at the top of your page when you write this down, right, my name is, and today is, and in the next 90 days, I will be, and then that's how you start it. So, my name is John Leister, and today is February 25th, 2015, and in the next 90 days, I watch less than 4 hours of television and movies per week. I am reading a minimum of 1 hour per day and journaling for at least 30 minutes per day and meditating for at least 30 minutes a day. And I am spending 30 minutes each morning exercising and 20 minutes doing and reciting positive affirmations. I am going out and meeting new people daily. This includes investors, homeowners, prospects for Swiss Gold Global, and females that I want to date. I'm going on a date at least 1 day per week, and I am feeling strong and confident because I am sticking to my action plan and I have created my vision plan for the future. I am spending 8 to 10 hours, 6 days a week minimum, building my real estate investment business, and I am spending 1 to 2 hours per day minimum building my Swiss Gold Global Network marketing business. I am earning $10,000 per month from real estate investing. I am taking off every other Saturday to spend quality time with my children, and I have curbed my appetite for destructive habits, and I am creating new habits that are conducive to my success. That's kind of what I've got so far, and there's actually, in reciting it to you guys and looking at this every day, I constantly think of adding a little bit more, because one of the things I'll need to do in the next 90 days to get to the 1 year plan is because I have a piece in my 1 year about raising $500,000 to do rehab projects. So you know what? I need to raise to get to that, I need to raise $125,000 from investors to do rehab projects over the next 90 days. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my plan right now, because that makes sense to where I want to be in a year. So again, I'm getting more specific, because one of the things I said that I want to be in a year is I want to be feeling strong and confident and empowered. One of the ways I'm going to build that self-confidence, one of the ways I'm going to feel that way is by being more, I guess, strict with how I'm investing my time, which is why I said, I'm not going to watch more than 4 hours a week of television and movies. And that time doing that is going to be with my kids because my kids like to watch a cartoon program or a movie. So, I've got to allow that, hey, when my kids are over, we might watch a program or something like that. But we don't spend more than 4 hours because to me, spending more than 4 hours of television is a destructive habit, and I have in this plan that I will eliminate destructive habits. I'm also know that in order to feel confident and good and get to where I need to be educated, which is why I need to spend an hour a day reading. I need to focus on my goals. So I need to spend a half hour a day journaling about it in order to keep tabs on myself to see if I'm actually doing what's necessary to get there. One of my one-year vision is that I'm exercising daily, and I need to start that today and start with 20 minutes to 30 minutes a day, and it can build up from there. And if I can commit myself over the next 90 days to do 30 minutes, in 90 days when I redo my action plan, I'll probably throw in the piece about finding the personal trainer. But that's not in this first 90 days. In order to be strong and confident and stay focused and build self-confidence, I think it's important to do daily affirmations. So I'm spending 20 minutes a day doing daily affirmations. In order to become successful and financially free and raise $500,000, I need to and build any business, and to meet these girlfriends that I want to have, I need to be meeting people on a daily basis. So I have that in my 90-day vision where I see myself meeting new people on a daily basis, and I want to be going on dates and hanging out 3 times a week. Well, I'm going to start small because I've got to spend a lot of time right now building the real estate business, putting it on autopilot to have the freedom I want in a year. So I'm only going to be going out on one date per week. And in 90 days, I see myself feeling stronger and confident than I do right now because I've got this action step, I've got this vision, and I'm going towards it. And I've even broke down to, like, over the next 90 days, this is how much time I need to spend, how many days a week I need to spend in my business. And then I'm looking at building a great rapport with my children, so I have a plan for taking off every other Saturday to spend quality time with my kids. And I know that right now I've got some bad habits that need to be eliminated, so that's why I say I've curbed my appetite for destructive habits. To be real perfectly honest with you, one of my habits is, I think that I go out and party a little bit too much during the week, where I want to curb that down to maybe just going out once a week and then not partying as hard and coming home a little bit earlier. So that's my 90-day vision, and I think you see where I'm getting more specific and actually doing things that are going to bring me to where I want to be in 1 year. So I'm going to throw it back to Paul to kind of break that down, and if there's a little bit more time at the end, maybe we can finish up going through the 20 habits of successful people that we touched upon on Monday, which is also important to building this action plan and sticking to it, is to have habits that are conducive to success, which is also part of my 90-day vision. So
I'm just going to show the little drawing that I made so that kind of people kind of get the idea a little bit again. The 3-year, like I said, see how that breaks down into 4, 5, 6, 7, however many little segments of that 3-year plan that you have. When you go far out, you can really just break that down just a little bit, and then as you come closer, the 1-year plan right there all of a sudden is, this is the 1-year plan right here, these 6 little segments. The 3-year plan is just the one big grand idea, and this is actually the 1-year plan right here. These 6 little segments where you break down each one of these, and then when you get down into the 90-day, and obviously there's probably a lot more of these because, but now you've got all these individual little pieces right here that you could say, okay, and where we go next, what's the next one? 30 days, right?
The next thing we're going to do is 60-day. Well, we're going to go over the 60-day plan on Friday.
Okay, so with the 60-day plan, I'm looking at the fact that you have all of these different things here. So now what you can start doing in the 60-day plan too is not only define what each of these different things are and break this down. Each one of these little blocks right here is going to become, say, another 4 blocks. But now you're going to be able to look at those 4 blocks and say, okay, which one's more important for me to get to that next level? So now you can start prioritizing your pieces to where you can say, okay, I've got 4 things here in my 60-day plan that's going to be, getting me to my 90-day plan, but which ones are more important really that I see are going to be necessary to get to that 90-day plan? If I was to eliminate one of these, if I got 4 things here, if I was to eliminate one, would that prevent me from getting to that 90-day plan? So you can start also trimming it down a little bit. Now we've been building it now we can start trimming it down a little bit so we can get the focus back. So that's the whole idea here, is first you build it out, then you trim it down so that you can get laser focused. And that's where we're going to be going with the 60-day plan. And obviously when you get down to the 30-day plan, you're going to be able to narrow it down even further, so that you can really look at, okay, well, you know what, I need to get there and do those things, but that's not so important. But you get where I'm going. So yeah, go ahead, John, and give us the real quick the run through of the final 10 successful habits, 20 successful habits of successful people, which I'll just real quickly recap. The first 10 were set daily goals and habits, which is what we're talking about here, building and creating, working towards. Create regular written goals. Again, goals, goals, goals. Important. Have them written. Very important. Daily self-improvement. Daily monitoring and promotion of health, spiritual, and financial. Daily relationship building. Everything in moderation. Getting things done. Actual results. Results help. Positive vision. Having a positive vision, seeing the silver lining in everything. The habit of saving money regularly. If you're not saving money, you are spending money. And if you're spending money, you aren't building wealth. Higher self. Eliminate self-limiting thoughts.
Believe that you can do it, and you can. What the mind can bring itself to believe, it can achieve. Something along those lines. But let's break down the final 11 because we've only got maybe 3-4 minutes. So the number 11 habit of successful people is they know how to live within their means. And begin to live within your means. Look at your finances. Do a little, look at what your monthly cash flow coming in is and your outflow. And look for those things that aren't necessary, that you don't need. Like for me, I don't watch TV. I watch Netflix. I'm canceling my cable subscription because I don't need television. It's a waste of money because I don't spend time watching it. In fact, I'm even turning off my internet connection because my cell phone has a hotspot with unlimited data. Why do I need a connection in the house? I've got one. So reduce the things you don't need. Eliminate the stuff and start learning to live within your means. Number 12 is read every single day for an hour. But don't just read romance novels and fiction and garbage. Read that stuff as part of your free time. But what I'm talking about here is that you read every single day for 1 hour, and you're reading to learn. You're reading books that are helping you learn about your business, about your trade, or about self-development and making yourself a better person. Number 13, habit of successful people, according to this article in the Entrepreneur magazine, is eliminate or limit television. Talked about that in my 90-day plan. 14, do more than what's required of you. And as Napoleon Hill says, you should spend 2 hours every day going the extra mile, doing something for other people. Always go above and beyond. Promise and over-deliver on your promises. It'll attract people to you. It'll give you self-confidence. It'll make you believe in you, and it'll help others to believe in you, is that you do more than what is required. You're not just schlepping by doing the minimum you need to do to get through each day. You're actually going above and beyond. Number 15, learn to talk less and listen more. You were given 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in proportion. If you're in sales, you're in marketing, or you're just looking to build relationships, ask questions. Learn to talk to people by letting people talk to you and learning to get people to open up to you, and then button your lip. Don't think about what you're going to say to them. Actually Listen to what they're saying to you. So learn to listen. Talk less and listen more. Number 16, never give up. I know Paul and myself, we've been in this business for 3 years. We have had ups, downs, but one of our habits is that we never gave up. We stick to our guns. Never give up. Number 17 is spend your time with like-minded people. Birds of a feather flock together. So if you're spending your time with people that have bad habits, with people who drink too much or smoke too much pot or watch too much television, guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to mirror those images. So you want to begin spending your time with like-minded people. Number 18, probably one of the most important things, is that you find a mentor. Find a mentor, the right mentor for what you need at that time. If you're looking to get into real estate, find a real estate mentor. You've got 2 people that are open to being your mentor right here on this Hangout. Send us an email at propertynoodlers@gmail.com. Number 19, talked about it all throughout this thing, and it's part of what's going to make you stick to your goals. And what I pointed out in the beginning, why I have the picture of my kids today, is you need to know your why. You need to know why you're doing the things you do. What is your why? And number 20 is never give in to your fears. And you know what? Spend some time and meditate on what fears do you have and what fears are holding you back, and figure out a way to become a warrior and conquer those fears and get in the habit of never giving into those fears. So there's the 20 habits of successful people. Begin implementing these habits into your life, and you will watch your life transform, and it's going to start with just the way you feel about yourself, and how you feel is everything. So I'm going to go ahead and toss it back to Paul to close us out.
That's it. Between now and Friday, work on your 90-day plan. We got you 3 to 5. We got you your 1. We got you to the 90 now, or we're actually at the 90 now. You know, you should have your 3 to 5. You should have your 1. Now, take the next couple of days, start working on your 90. Get these segments broken out so that you can start refining these and figuring out how to get to the next step. And with that, oh universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom. Wisdom of these awesome 20 habits. I lost the whole prayer there. I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever end I might desire. All right, everybody, we'll see you back here on Friday, and we'll get down to the 90 days. All right, so.